When the Indiana Fever were the team that no one ever took seriously, do you recall? Ignore that picture. The basketball world is in disbelief due to the Fever's rapid rise. And for that reason, Caitlin Clark and Lexie Hull are the two players we're talking about today. They're completely changing the game. In addition to playing brilliantly, Clark is creating history. She won Player of the Week for 3 weeks in a row, making history as the first rookie in WNBA history. Something like that has never even occurred in the NBA. As if that weren't enough, with only 4 games remaining, Clark will shatter the record for assists in a season with just 11. This demonstrates that she is the real deal. It's not just Clark, though, who is shining. Invisibly, Lexie Hull is becoming into a crucial component of this Fever jigsaw. I say this in silence because her influence transcends data. It's time to properly recognize this player who is astonishing everyone. For that reason, watch how she battles for the ball in this clip, for instance. She never gives up. And she does not disappoint when asked to provide the three-pointer. Hull has been an absolute machine on the floor during the past 10 games, averaging 29.1 minutes, nearly 10 points, 4.2 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and 0.7 steals. Amazing, isn't that right? However, it's her shooting percentages --62.3% on field goals and 71.4% on three-pointers that have everyone in awe. Hull is doing more than counting up points. She's performing her job admirably. Her perseverance and tenacity are infectious. She battles for each possession as though it were the final one of the match. It makes sense that Caitlin Clark, who has openly acknowledged her admiration for Lexie Hull, would say that. You can tell something exceptional is happening when the rookie phenom in the league gives her colleague high accolades. Hull's influence extends much beyond the numbers. Her cheerful spirit is really making a big difference. Coaches and teammates adore having a player like her on the squad, even though she may not make the news as much. The Indiana Fever have an additional weapon thanks to Hull's play, which is expanding their playing area and opportunities. Wait until you see how Hull and Clark complement one another on the court if you were impressed with them separately. As though one were an extension of the other, they are working in perfect harmony to overwhelm the defenses of their opponents. Hull's shooting accuracy is really helping Clark's chances of winning. When a player is making three-pointers, the defense is forced to guard her, and who gains anything from that? Caitlin Clark, who has additional room to write outstanding plays. Not to be overlooked is defense. Hull is back there holding down the fourth as Clark lights up the offensive end. She has developed into the player the coach knows to cover the top opponent's attackers. Clark may now conserve energy and focus on her strongest skill, which is offensive destruction. Now, if you thought Caitlin was good in college, you had to be just as shocked as I am at her WNBA performance. It's unbelievable. Clark's stats are extraordinary. Each game, she averages around 20 points and 10 assists. That's not just amazing for a rookie, it's historic. In terms of the number of games in which Clark has at least 25 points and 10 assists, he has already tied Sabrina Ionescu. What's the difference? It took Sabrina multiple seasons to arrive there. Clark? She completed it in just 10 games following the Olympics. What about the records? How should I start? She's the first ever triple-double rookie in WNBA history. She repeated it twice, not pleased. In a single season, Clark has also eclipsed the 400-point, 100-rebound, and 100-rebound, and 150-assist thresholds. A rookie has never done that before. What about the assists? That's when things start to become pretty weird. In just 35 games, Clark reached her 300th assist, the quickest pace in league history. At 8.5 per game, she leads the WNBA in assists. The most amazing thing is that Clark is altering the game rather than merely amassing numbers. We've hardly seen her in the WNBA before, but she has a unique ability to read the floor and create opportunities out of nothing. In the league, she is reinventing what it means to be a point guard, and it affects more than just the court. Record crowds are being attracted to Fever games. More than 1.26 million spectators attend the Minnesota Lynx game. That surpasses the number of NFL games. In addition to controlling the game, Clark is increasing the WNBA's profile overall and attracting new fans. Clark's domination is so ridiculous that she's already being referred to as MVP status for a rookie. Sounds absurd. But now that I have Clark, I no longer have any doubts. And if you think the Indiana Fever's current performance is amazing, be ready for even more exciting times ahead. First, let's address the obvious. The postseason, do you recall the time when the Fever were the team that everyone dismissed before the season even began? With Lexie Hull emerging as the ideal partner and Caitlin Clark leading the way, the Fever have not only locked up a postseason spot, but they are doing it in style. The fact that they are unsatisfied with merely qualifying for the playoffs is the most intriguing aspect. Their play, particularly in the last few weeks, indicates that they are eager for more. You know what other teams find most frightening too? The Fever is still developing their team dynamics. Consider this. Before the season began, Clark and Hall hardly had time to exercise together. The possibilities are endless now that they're forming this on-court chemistry. Not to be overlooked is Aaliyah Boston, who has been a dependable presence all season long. In the future, this club could become a dynasty. When we discuss the future, let's consider the long haul. Being one of the league's youngest teams, the Fever have room to improve as a unit. Hull is improving with every game. Clark is still in her first year, and our roster has additional bright spots. This indicates that the Fever is creating something enduring rather than merely a fleeting fad. And it affects more than just the court. The Fever are becoming a sought-after destination for free agents as a result of the Caitlin Clark effect, which is drawing more fans and media attention. In the next years, imagine celebrities wanting to be involved in this endeavor. It seemed as though the Fever had found the key to winning in the WNBA. Of course, there are still difficulties to overcome. Expectations will only rise, adding to the pressure. However, based on what we've seen thus far, this staff appears capable of managing it. The team as a whole, led by Clark and Hull, has demonstrated a veteran mentality rather than that of a young one. This season, the outlook is promising. The Fever are going into the playoffs with the intention of surprising people, not just to play. No one wants to play them in a best-of-3 series given the momentum they're riding. It's difficult not to feel thrilled, though, when you consider the next seasons. There's a chance that the Fever will create the next great WNBA dynasty if they can maintain this core and add some key players. But the road ahead won't be an easy one from this point on. Things are going to get rather serious soon. Let's start by discussing pressure. Although Hull and Clark have so far shown they can manage pressure, the postseason is a very different beast. The intensity increases, every error is magnified. And all of a sudden, shots that appeared simple became considerably more difficult. When the heat really gets turned up, how will these rising stars respond? Not to mention that all eyes are currently on the Fever. The element of surprise has vanished. Rival teams will prepare unique tactics to neutralize Hull, Clark, and upset the Fever's flow of play. In the face of this increased focus, will they be able to play at the same level? And then there's what the media and fans expect. There is a lot of excitement surrounding the Fever, particularly Clark. But what happens if they perform below these levels during the playoffs? How are they going to respond to possible fan disappointment? If they are ousted early, what will be their reaction? A perfect storm of pressure, expectations, and emotions is engulfing the Indiana Fever. Their mental fortitude as well as their on-court prowess will be put to the test in the upcoming weeks. Do they truly feel up to the challenge? In my opinion, the Fever have a chance to make it to the WNBA Finals this season, and I can't wait to see how each player will carry on leaving her mark. In the postseason, I want to see Caitlin Clark score 30 points or more. But in order for that to occur, Coach Christie Sides will need to create a strong and flexible game plan. Although Clark has already established herself as one of the greatest players in league history, a more poised and methodical approach is necessary in the intensely competitive postseason setting. In order to take advantage of Clark's remarkable court vision and long-range shooting ability, Sides will need to devise offensive systems that not only involve her teammates but also make the most of her special strengths. The ability of Sides to modify their tactics when necessary will be crucial to Clark's success in the playoffs, particularly if opponents target the rookie player with their defense. Developing secondary and tertiary alternatives and assaults that let Clark contribute even when she's closely guarded, or devising plays that use Clark as bait to create space for other players are some examples of how to accomplish this. Sides will also have to manage Clark's playing time so that she is rested and ready for action when it matters most during games. Lastly, defensive tactics that both shield Clark from undue wear and tear and put her in a position to seize counterattack possibilities should be a part of Side's strategy. This can entail employing various defensive strategies that go well with Clark's attacking style of play and provide seamless transitions. Caitlin Clark will have all the tools she needs to step up her game even more and possibly lead the Indiana Fever to an unexpected and deep playoff run with a well-thought-out strategy designed by Christie Sides. However, I'm now interested in knowing your thoughts. Will Hull and Clark be the dynamic pair that elevates the Fever to the pinnacle of the WNBA? Or will they be unable to handle the pressure of the playoffs? Please share your thoughts regarding this team's future in the comments section. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you like this material and want to be updated on all the WNBA playoff action. Activate that bell as well to ensure you don't miss any films featuring the top players in women's basketball. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon.